The Night King's true identity finally exposed after the Battle of Winterfell. Have you ever wondered who the Night King truly was? Not just a mindless villain, not just a frozen figure commanding the dead, but a man with a past, a purpose, and maybe even a destiny that was stolen from him. For years, Game of Thrones left fans speculating about the origins of the Night King. The show gave us glimpses, but never the full truth. The books are still unfinished, and George R. Martin has only dropped hints. But if we piece together the lore, the mythology, and the foreshadowing, a shocking picture emerges. Tonight, we dive deep into the aftermath of the Battle of Winterfell. The Night King has fallen, but the real story is only beginning. What if his true identity, carefully hidden for centuries, is finally being revealed? Strap in, because this theory changes everything you thought you knew about the Night King, the Starks, and even the future of Westeros. Let's start where the show left us, the Battle of Winterfell. Arya Stark's daring strike ended the Night King in a single moment. His army of the dead crumbled, the Whites turned to dust, and the great war that was promised for centuries was over in an instant. But here's the problem. Doesn't it feel unfinished? The Night King had been built up for 8 seasons as the ultimate antagonist, the embodiment of death itself. He was supposed to be unstoppable, yet we never got to hear him speak. We never learned his motives. We never discovered why he seemed so fixated on Bran, the three-eyed raven. That silence was intentional. It left a mystery hanging in the cold northern air, a mystery that whispers. The true story of the Night King did not end at Winterfell. To understand who he really was, we need to go back, thousands of years before Jon Snow, before Robert's Rebellion, before even the first Starks. The Children of the Forest created him. That much the show revealed. They plunged dragonglass into the heart of a captured First Man, turning him into the first White Walker. They did this out of desperation, as a weapon against the invading First Men who were cutting down their forests. But here's the twist most fans overlook. The children didn't just pick a random man. They needed someone special, someone strong, someone with the bloodline to rival the greatest houses of men, someone who could carry both human resilience and supernatural power. The Night King was not a nameless victim. He was someone significant. Over the years, fans have debated countless theories. Was the Night King a Stark? Was he a Targaryen? Was he tied to Bran the Builder, the legendary founder of House Stark? Or even Bran Stark himself, twisted by time travel gone wrong? Let's examine these one by one and see which holds the most weight. The wall was built to keep something out, or perhaps to keep something in. Legends tell us Bran, the Builder, raised the wall with the help of giants and magic. The Starks became Wardens of the North, their blood tied to Winterfell and its crypts. What if that bond exists because one of their own became the Night King? Think about it. The Night King's obsession with Winterfell, his march straight for the Starks' ancestral home. Why not head south to King's Landing immediately? Why target Bran? Because Bran carries the memory of the Starks. Because Winterfell was once his home. In fact, old Northern tales spoke of Night's King, the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, who fell in love with a woman with skin as cold as ice. He declared himself king, and for 13 years he ruled from the wall, until the Starks and other northern houses overthrew him. What if that story wasn't just legend? What if the Night King was that Stark, cursed to live forever as the master of death? Now let's look at the other great theory, the Night King as a Targaryen. Why did he ride a dragon so easily? Why did Viserion obey him, when dragons famously choose their riders through blood and bond? The only ones known to master dragons are Targaryens or those with Valyrian blood. Could it be that the Children of the Forest chose not just any man, but a man from the bloodline of Old Valyria? Some scholars suggest the Targaryens are latecomers. But what if there were earlier strands of Valyrian blood in Westeros, hidden in noble houses? The Night King's icy dragon symbolized the cold opposite of fire. If Daenerys was the mother of dragons, perhaps the Night King was the father of death. Two sides of the same coin, fire and ice. Here's where it gets really wild. Bran the Builder, the legendary founder of House Stark, was said to have built the wall, Winterfell, and even helped with Storm's End. But legends are often twisted over time. What if Bran's attempt to use ancient magic to seal away the others went wrong? What if in trying to stop the others, he became the first of them? This would explain why the Starks are so tied to the wall, why they always remember, and why the crypts of Winterfell seem almost like a prison. Bran the Builder may not have been a builder at all, but the one who was built into the Night King himself. And finally, the most famous fan theory. The Night King was actually Bran Stark. We know Bran has the power to warg into the past. We saw him try to influence events, like when he called out to his father, Ned. We saw the Night King mark him through visions, blurring the line between dream and reality. What if Bran went too far back, trying to stop the creation of the White Walkers, and got trapped inside the body of the man being turned? That would explain their connection. That would explain why the Night King always seemed to know where Bran was. He wasn't hunting him. He was him. Now, let's weigh the evidence. The Stark connection is strong. Too many coincidences tie the Night King to Winterfell, to the Wall, and to the legends of the North. The Targaryen theory, while fascinating, has fewer textual roots, but the dragon connection can't be ignored. The Bran the Builder theory feels mythic and would explain the depth of history, though it lacks direct proof. And the Bran Stark theory? It fits narratively, but may be too paradoxical even for Game of Thrones. So what's the truth? I propose this. The Night King was a Stark, perhaps the 13th Lord Commander himself, a man of Winterfell, twisted by the children's magic into a weapon. A man who once swore to guard the realms of men, but was cursed to forever destroy them. That explains his fixation on Bran, the living memory of his house. That explains his march on Winterfell, a return to the home he lost. And that explains why the story feels unfinished, because the Night King's legacy is tied to the Stark bloodline itself. Now imagine this. After the battle, as the North buries its dead, Bran Stark reveals what he has seen. He tells Arya and Sansa the truth. The Night King was once one of us, a Stark of Winterfell, long before our time. The wall was built not to keep him out, but to keep him in. This revelation shakes the North. The Starks realize their ancient duty wasn't just to rule, but to contain their own cursed ancestor. It reframes everything. Winter is not just a season, it's a reminder. Winter is coming was never about weather. It was about the return of the family's darkest shadow. So what does this mean for the future of Westeros? Even though the Night King is gone, his story is not. His creation was tied to blood, magic, and ancient bargains with the children of the forest. Death like that does not simply vanish.